This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I wanted to do a video and cover the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Some of you may have heard of it in passing and not thought much about it, but this cemetery is known for having a lot of famous Hollywood actors, producers, musicians buried in this cemetery, and I want to show you the connections again to Freemasonry, to Bageltown, and to how this entire thing is controlled and operated by these people in secret societies right in plain sight. Now, the Hollywood Forever Cemetery has some pretty big names buried here. Recently, this is where Chris Cornell was put, as well as some of these other musicians who, apparently off themselves. In the past, it's been home to people such as Mel Blanc, who is known as the Man of 1,000 Voices, Freemason. You'll see Alfalfa from the Little Rascals is buried here, and what a wonderful tombstone he has with his Freemason symbols on it. But I'm going to get more into the Freemasonry in a second. You also see a connection to Satanism and the occult. What a surprise. Some of you may have heard of Jane Mansfield. If you recall, she was someone who was in a relationship with Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan. She was an occultist and a Satanist who supposedly died in a car crash, which was probably a ritual. The cemetery is also home of Johnny Ramone. Linda Ramone, Johnny Ramone's wife, is believed to be one of the high-ranking priestesses in Satanism and the occult out in Hollywood. Many believe that she is one of the people responsible for the recent rise and a lot of the deaths of these musicians, that she had her hand in these rituals. She's connected to people like Courtney Love, Argento. She was connected to Bennington. She was connected to Cornell. So her husband, Johnny Ramone, who is a high-ranking Satanist, has a monument there for himself. And what you'll find interesting, let's start with the land. The land here, this cemetery that just happens to be out in Hollywood, is actually dedicated as Jewish burial ground for members of the local Jewish community. And they was set aside for the Beth Olam Cemetery. This is back in 1899 when this Hollywood's only cemetery was founded on 100 acres, and it was called Hollywood's Cemetery. Now, the logo for this cemetery is the infinity sign. I've covered the infinity sign before. It's another symbol that is used. Yes, it has dual meanings. No, if you drive an infinity car, you're not a Satanist. No, if you have a necklace with it on it, it doesn't mean you're a Satanist, but I'm going to tell you what the meaning of it is. And it's exactly what it says, infinite, but it's used, because they believe that they're infinite, that they're forever going, that there is no stopping them. You'll see the infinity sign above the sign for the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. You'll see it right there. You also see the infinity sign on the Magician tarot card above the head of the magician. You'll see the infinity sign used in a lot of sigils, specifically the Satanic Cross. You'll see the infinity sign at the bottom of the cross. Remember, these people believe that they're infinite, that there's no stopping them. They believe that there is no death for them when they die, that they come back or their spirits roam and these people become reincarnated and all this garbage that they preach. So that's why the symbol is there and used in the cemetery. And like I said, it was reserved as Jewish burial ground. But wait, there's more. How about the fact that this cemetery happens to have a Masonic lodge right on it? And you can see they're not even hiding it. At 6000 Santa Monica Boulevard, they openly tell you that it is indeed a Masonic lodge. And I've covered this before in the past. You can see inside of this building, you can see the Witches of the Eastern Star. You can see it hanging on the wall. They use the inside of this lodge for concerts, for ceremonies, for a lot of things that we probably will never know or see or hear about. But they'll advertise events occurring inside this Masonic lodge, which are all pretty much either pushing agendas like the feminist movement or are satanic bands performing like Depeche Mode or Smashing Pumpkins singer Billy Corgan. And you'll see that they don't hide this, that they openly discuss this. They hold events here proudly, hey, Masonic Lodge at the Forever. I mean, what cemetery do you know that has a Masonic Lodge on it? And this just happens to be a cemetery that's reserved only for these people who are Hollywood producers, elites, right? Obviously, they have Jewish heritage, most of them. Think that's a coincidence, right? And then all these people who get sacrificed, they just happen to be getting buried here. Not to mention that every year they hold their Day of the Dead ritual, which I've covered before, the Day of the Dead ritual. People think if you're talking about the Day of the Dead ritual, oh, you're being racist or you're not respecting other people's culture. These are all satanic. Doesn't matter where you're from. Most of us listening are from America. We're aware that pretty much everything that goes on in America is satanic. Every TV show, the holidays, the agendas. Okay, so it doesn't matter what culture you're in. The Day of the Dead is a satanic ceremony that they use to, contact spirits, right? And talk to the dead, all things that are forbidden by God. You can even see some interviews. They do interviews and things and events inside of this Masonic Lodge at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Keanu Reeves there speaking, right? All of these people are connected. They're all connected to the same secret societies. It's not a coincidence. It's not just, oh, there's a few Freemasons in Hollywood, right? And of course, there's Freemasons, but there's also different levels of secret societies. A lot of these people are Freemasons, but they're also parts of covens, okay, of other satanic secret societies within Hollywood. There's many of them, but they're openly showing you this stuff, and it's surprising. Well, it's not surprising anymore, right? Because even on their Hollywood Forever Facebook page, you could see Hollywood Forever. You could see concerts. You could see people like Lana Del Rey, another person who came forward and has admitted to being a witch, and others performing here at the Masonic Lodge at Hollywood Forever Cemetery. So these people who openly are witches and Satanists, right? They perform concerts, and it happens to be at this Masonic Lodge, which just happens to be right here inside of a cemetery, huh? I mean, nobody's questioning that. Nobody finds that suspicious at all, right? You can see the gigantic pyramid, right? Someone's mausoleum. I mean, look at all of this stuff that's here. That most of these people have Freemason symbols drawn on their graves, like I showed you with alfalfa, right? And then they have other symbols, right? What you're supposed to believe is the Star of David, right? Which is supposed to be associated with Israel. Well, how come this symbol is found inside of Freemason lodges, like I've shown you, right? If this is supposed to represent the Star of David and supposed to represent Israel, why is it inside of a Masonic lodge? Most of them. Why is it on their roofs? Why is it in their teachings? Okay, because this symbol is used in witchcraft. These people, these Masons who claim to have a craft that they follow, these people are practitioners, just like these Satanists are practitioners in the craft. So this Hollywood Forever Cemetery is open to a lot of rituals. They hold rituals here. They have events here all the time, which another thing, people don't find it weird, right? Because it occurs in Hollywood. So they go, oh, it's not a big deal. It's just, Hollywood, they're a little different out there. They're a little weird. They have concerts in the cemetery. They have events in the cemetery. They have parties in the cemetery. Okay? This cemetery that's reserved for these people that has a Freemasonic lodge with, the Eastern Star represented there as well. I mean, you can't make it up. And somehow people just go, yeah, I don't know. I think you're stretching here. Oh, yeah? You got a cemetery in your town that has a Masonic lodge on it and they're holding parties there? These people believe that they're, probably contacting these, the dead there. And a lot of the people who were buried there were people who were sacrifices, right? It's not a coincidence that some of these people are there and buried near each other who die, in these mysterious deaths. I mentioned Cornell and Bennington, these guys, another mysterious death. You get Alpha, right? He died at 30, I believe, 32 or 33. He was shot and killed randomly. They said it was a dispute over money. And like I said, Jane Mansfield, who, is connected, she was supposed to be like the next, or she was supposed to be similar to Marilyn Monroe, who we all know is a sex kid and MK Ultra slave. she just happened to be in a relationship with the founder of Church of Satan, Anton LaVey, and she dies in a mysterious death, right? And she's buried there. All of these people, right? Must be just a huge coincidence. It's just us. We're the ones who are crazy. So this is the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, which is just filled with, whether you look at the infinity sign, which just shows you what they're about. And like I said, don't forget the infinity sign is used in the magician tarot card. There's a reason that sign is over the magician's head. Okay, they didn't just go, hey, let's draw an infinity sign over his head. It's because it's used in magic and sorcery. Most of these symbols are, right? And you see it in the Satanic Cross, right? You see a Masonic lodge on the property. You see the Day of the Dead rituals, all these things that are doing concerts inside of these Masonic lodges here where these Satanists and witches are performing. So no surprise, shouldn't come to a surprise to anyone out there who is awake and has eyes to see and ears to hear. I just wanted to make you aware of that if you weren't aware already. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.